Get in on the action this season with Underdog's Pick'em game. Select higher or lower between 2 and 8 players and compete for up to 325 times your entry. Use code DIRECTOR when signing up to receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick. Go to Bolt fam, it's the Director. Chargers fans, you feeling it? You feel it, Mr. Krabs? Can you feel it, Mr. Can you feel the draft coming up in less than a week at this point? The hype is building, the excitement is building. If you guys want to check out, actually, we did a huge mock draft on Bleacher Report just yesterday. 32 different creators got together. We all selected for our teams. There was trades and everything. If you guys want to check out what my pick was, definitely go check out that video on their YouTube. Very, very fun experience. But as we do get closer to the NFL draft, I want to make sure you guys are prepared as ever for not just the early rounds, which we have hammered, as hard as we can going into this process, but also some of the sleepers, some of the guys that I'm excited about in the later rounds. It's actually inspired by something Joe Ortiz said in his interview yesterday, that day 3 is when the draft really kind of begins for a lot of these scouts. You get to, take all the collective experience and knowledge of these players from the coaches. Certainly Jim Harbaugh is going to have, some extra tools in his tool bag to help us out there, but also the rookies, what they think of some of the guys coming in. So it's going to be a good time, man. I'm going to show you guys a whole lot of sleepers that I have for the upcoming NFL draft next week. It's going to be a good time, man. Before we do get into it, shout out to the sponsor, Underdog. Use code DIRECTOR to receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Newcomers take advantage of the offer on screen. Great way to support my platform while having some fun along the way. Before we do kick off, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into it, man. Sleeper time. Lights, camera, action.
Who's got it better than us?
Into the end zone, Charger fans are witnesses to history.
The sleepers. Man, I'm excited for this one. Everybody's got their sleepers. Probably one of my favorite things about the draft is everyone sharing their sleepers, and every once in a while you hit on one, right? Whether they get drafted, whether or not, they pop off, like certainly the corners did last season. I'll be honest, I didn't really know who Tarheeb Still was until he started popping off for the Chargers. Of course, he was drafted by us. Let's see if we can get a few, to declare before the draft next week. Let's go ahead and start at running back. Of course, I'm not going to hit every single position as hard as others according to what the Chargers are needy at. We don't need quarterback, so I'm not going to give you guys any sleepers at quarterback, but here's the running backs in a class that is mighty exceptional, I should say, dude. Before I get into it, it was so good. I just came back from it, so I got to tell you guys, go watch Sinners. It was awesome. Great movie experience. Okay, Jaden Blue out of Texas. We're going to start with this guy. Excellent speed option, ran a 4.38, quick, deadly footwork, good hands as well. He can catch beautifully, take it to the house pretty much from anywhere on the field as well. If you're looking for a nice speed option in the later rounds, what I mean by, day 3 guys is rounds 4 through 7, right? You can probably find Jaden Blue in and around round 5-ish, maybe for round 4 if that speed really does help carry him. But this is a really nice compliment to Najee Harris. If the Chargers are very committed to this idea that Najee Harris is their guy, I wouldn't be shocked if them seeing them take somebody like in the later rounds that does have that speed element that they're looking for. If they want to continue building in terms of physicality, a great option later down the board is to be Kyle Monangai out of Rutgers. Not the first time we talked about this guy, certainly will not be the last, but a really good option if you're looking for a thumper to run the ball up the middle. This is a dangerous contact runner, man. He looks for it. He wants to destroy defenders on his way to first downs, end zones, whatever the case may be. An awesome option if you want not only a guy who can, produce tough yardage, but also excellent in pass protection. Does not fumble the football, protects his quarterback. A lot of things to love about the late rounder. Again, in a very exceptional class of running back this season. And lastly, in the running back category, Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech, another dude that's exceptionally fast. Him and Jaden Blue, if you're looking for speed, those are the kind of the two guys that I'm looking for in the late rounds that would certainly be able to add, a compliment to Najee Harris's power. This dude is fast, fast. Ran a 4.32. He's got great balance. He's explosive. Great vision as well, I would have to say, and certainly can add a lot to special teams. I know he did a little bit of returning out there at Virginia Tech. He does need work as a pass protector and a catcher, so maybe not quite as much upside as the other two in those categories, but certainly going to bring the speed the Chargers may be looking for in the later rounds. So there's your wide receivers. Running backs. We got a lot of players to go into. So we're going to try and go lightning round on most of these positions. Speaking of which, of wide receivers, let's actually move into the wide receiver category. Again, these are rounds 4 through 7, day 3 picks, guys that I'm very, very high on. And right now, I kind of question whether or not to put Kyle Williams on this list. I truly do not believe he's going to be available in the 4th round, but I see him there constantly. I even see him in the 5th round constantly, and if that is anywhere close to true, I got to shine a light on it, man. Kyle Williams, to me, out of Washington State, one of the best wide receiver values you will likely see in this draft if he does indeed fall into that range. He's got unbelievable separation to his game. His game speed is absolutely lethal, excellent after the catch. He's not going to be the prototypical, outside receiver in terms of size and physicality, but man, does he find a way to get open. He's extremely shifty, very effective, and after the catch as well. I don't think he's going to be there in the 4th round, but until I see evidence suggesting he's a top, 3-round player, I had to put him in my sleepers. I don't know why he's not getting talked about more. Kyle Williams, man, if we go into day 3 and he's still on the board, I will be pounding the table for this guy to come to the Bolts, baby. I think it'd be an awesome player to add to the team. Next up, if you are looking for that physicality, let's take a look at Pat Bryant out of Illinois. This is a guy that's got great size to his game. I think he's around, 6'3", pretty decent mass to him as well. The size and strength are all there for an ex-receiver. But the big thing I love about his game that really stood out was the blocking. This guy will block his butt off, and that's something that the Chargers, obviously, as a run-first team, are going to be looking for at every position on offense. Yes, maybe he does lack a little bit of separation and route running in his receiving game, but his strength certainly helps make up for it, and his hands help make up for it. He's a really good contested catch guy, but also does not drop the football very often. So Pat Bryant out of Illinois, another guy that I'm really high on in the later rounds. And then finally, maybe one of the biggest my guys of the draft all of a sudden. You guys really helped put him on my radar. I really started to dig deep into who he was and what his game is. And Dante Thornton Jr. out of Tennessee really is the kind of player that could pop on a football team from a late round pick. Ran a 4.3 flat, insane contested catch grade. That's the thing. It's not his size, which is 6'5", 214 pounds, which is absurd. It's not his speed, 4.3 flat, which is very, very impressive in and of itself. It's the grade of a 75% contested catch rate that really caught my eye. That is Mike Williams level in terms of contested catch. The Chargers obviously like adding that to their game. Justin Herbert obviously likes having that sort of weapon on the sideline. And man, you add the kind of speed that he possesses on top of that, it could be an awesome pairing down the line. Now, he does need a lot of polish, but this is certainly a great backup to have behind Mike Williams this season and guy to develop over the next couple of years. Dante Thornton Jr. It'd be a really, really deadly weapon on this team in particular. Next up, let's move into the tight end category, starting with another one of my guys that I'm starting to really lean into in this draft, Gunnar Helm. If the Chargers do not go tight end in the first 2 or 3 rounds, Gunnar Helm really is one of those guys I'm looking for in round 4 and beyond. Very solid, balanced overall tight end. He can run block his butt off. I would say at a pretty decent rate, right? You're looking at a guy that's not the best run blocker in this class, but he's certainly no slouch either. He's very capable in that area, but also a really decent receiver as well. Again, it's hard for me as a Chargers fan not to think of Hunter Henry when I think of Gunnar Helm. Hunter Henry was very solid on both of those fronts, and Gunnar Helm very solid as well for a mid-round tight end. And the big place where he will shine certainly is yards after the catch. He'll hurdle, he'll jurtle, he'll do whatever he can to get additional yards, and that's pretty fun to watch. So Gunnar Helm out of Texas, one of my favorite guys at tight end if the Chargers decide not to go early on the position. Another guy that, again, these next two guys we haven't really talked about too much because I'm always taking tight end at least by round 4. But in the case that the Chargers don't do that, a couple of guys that I really do like, Mitchell Evans out of Notre Dame, big, strong hands, can be kind of a reliable guy over the middle if you have to have him be that. But he just doesn't get quite as open as often as the other guys you're going to see, especially in the first 3 rounds. The big thing that he does bring to the table quite beautifully is his blocking. He's a very capable blocker. Does remind me, again, from a Chargers lens perspective, could kind of maybe be the next Will Dissly, right? He's capable in terms of receiving, but he's definitely very, he'll stand out as a blocker for your football team. And that's something that, obviously the Chargers are going to be, valuing on their offense. And if they really value blocking on their offense, don't take a look at the guy on the left, but take a look at the guy on the right. Jackson Haas out of Georgia Tech, looking like a tackle in this photo. And that's because he basically is. This is a pure blocking tight end. It's another lineman on your field, right? And if the Chargers, I would dare say, even want to double dip at the position of tight end and get that blocking, depth that they're looking for too. Jackson Haas is maybe one of the best in this class when it comes to blocking. Him and Mitchell Evans are very exceptional, and I think, their size, I think they're actually the same size as well, 6'5", 260 pounds, would definitely play very well for the Bolts. And at very worst, Jackson Haas adds another wrinkle to what could be a nice fullback option for this team. So, all around, love the blocking from the other two guys, and I think Mitchell Evans brings a little bit more pass catching to the table, but Jackson Haas certainly does bring the chops as a blocker if you're looking for like a solid tight end 3 of the future. All right, next up, offensive line. Just a couple options I wanted to throw in front of you guys that I think would be pretty decent picks for the Bolts. Logan Brown out of Kansas. This dude, I don't know. I just have a feeling about him. I did get to watch him play, I think. I did see BYU play against Kansas, unfortunately, in them losing that game. But they ran the ball quite effectively. And if this guy was on the line that day, which I'm guessing he was, I would have to say he's a pretty decent run blocker. In looking into his game as well, he's 6'6", 315 pounds. He can play both sides of the football or both sides of the line very well. He can play guard too if need be. So this to me feels kind of like a great Trey Pipkins replacement, a really good project if you want another guy to kind of go in on and say, hey, dude, let's find some, depth that can move all around the line. I like Logan Brown a lot. He's an excellent run blocker. I already kind of knew that, and I think it's a really good way to, if you need to move that money of Trey Pipkins off the books, you're not going to lose too much in terms of upside, in my opinion, for your swing tackle. Another guy that I'm also kind of sneakily like, this guy keeps sneaking into my mock draft slate is Ajani Cornelius out of Oregon. This is a powerful right guard, or say right tackle / guard, that really does use his strength to really, I would say highlight his game. And that's something, again, that the Chargers really do value. If we can get, again, maybe another versatile backup that brings that element of strength to the offensive line, I think it's kind of worth taking a shot on. So Ajani Cornelius out of Oregon and Logan Brown are going to be your 2 offensive line options. Let's move into the defensive side of the football. Defensive line, which, again, we talked a lot about the offensive, or I should say the running back class, very exceptional this season. Hard not to say the same thing about the defensive line class. This class is awesome. Of course, in and around this range of round 4, 5, and 6, there is a bit of a drop-off, but a lot of these guys have a lot of upside, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. Ty Robinson out of Nebraska, and there's a guy later, guys, you're not even going to freaking believe. But we'll start with Ty Robinson. Great size, 6'6", 310 pounds. Decent pass rushing chops out of this guy, man. If you're looking for, maybe a hybrid of Poona Ford and Morgan Fox, on a lower level, right? Definitely a guy that you're going to have to rotate in and build up. Ty Robinson's definitely not a bad option in terms of his pass rushing ability. He's very flexible, can play pretty much every position. Produced 6 sacks from the interior last season, but a guy that I find myself drafting a lot in and around the 4th or 5th round. Ty Robinson, great option out of Nebraska. Another guy I find myself drafting a lot is Joshua Farmer out of FSU. Great upside again this season as a rotational pass rusher from the interior, just like his counter or the other guy we just talked about in Ty Robinson. 6 sacks at FSU. certainly impressive. Both those guys certainly need refinement, but I would say really good value. Like these guys, honestly, in most drafts, you're probably looking third round, and the upside is certainly, that's where I'm trying to say is that the value in terms of, the quality of player you're getting from the third round, it's there. The question is whether or not they can develop into that starter that you're hoping for. And I think the Chargers, coming from that blueprint of the Ravens, they have a pretty decent shot at making that happen. And lastly, the last guy, man, I couldn't believe it. Look at this dude! This is Desmond Watson out of Florida. No, this is not photoshopped. Yes, he really is that huge. Desmond Watson, one of the biggest players I've ever seen come into the draft. He's 6'5", 450 pounds. It's absolutely absurd, the kind of mass this man brings to the middle of that line. He will provide you virtually nothing from a pass rushing perspective, but a holy run-stopping potential, man. Look at this dude. He is a man among boys. This man is absolutely massive. If he can stay in shape and prove that he can stay on the field, that size and mass has to bring some sort of value in terms of run stopping. Put him in there on goal line formations and watch him, get a stuff or two, man. Big boy out of Florida. One of my favorite guys. One of my favorite pictures I think I've ever put on the channel. Next up, taking a look at edge. Ooh, there's some good ones late, man. If you're looking for a guy with some nice upside, Savion Jones out of LSU, high effort player, strong edge defender, extremely high motor, great effort on every play. He'll need to learn from Khalil Mack, and all these guys are going to need to learn from Khalil Mack and Dooley and the rest of the edge defenders, but the upside is very solid, especially this season for like an edge 3 or whatever. You put him in rotation. I think, the upside of every single one of these guys is pretty nice. The ceiling is pretty nice, and Savion Jones could be one of those lethal guys in terms of effort and motor that get you excited about his future at the position. The next guy, a player I got to watch in person 4 times this last season at BYU, Tyler Batty. A lot of people would ask me, Director, if there's one player from BYU that maybe you draft for the Chargers, who you're looking for, it's probably Tyler Batty, edge out of BYU. Another high motor guy, big size. He's got nice strength to him as well. Decent technique too. He kind of does carry that Joey Bosa kind of energy, nowhere near his level. But if you're looking for kind of like a style and effectiveness player, I'm sure that, you're going to find some nice upside for a Tyler Batty. And if anything, I think his floor is pretty nice too. He needs refinement, but physically he looks the part of an NFL defender, edge defender, and I think he'll do rather well there. Okay, and then lastly, a guy that's been getting a little bit of hype lately, Antoine Powell-Ryland at Virginia Tech. Excellent candidate to rotate in as a speed rusher. Very fast hands. Yes, he lacks a little bit of mass, but I think Ben Herbert can certainly help in that category. He's a little undersized, but his speed, the way he attacks the quarterback via his speed, certainly is special. Next up at linebacker. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Not my favorite linebacker class. Don't know a whole lot in terms of depth from these dudes outside of the top 50. One guy that does kind of stand out, Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. Sure, he's 6'4". He's got nice speed to him. He ran a 4.52. And physically, he's a bully. That's kind of what we're looking for on defense. He'll smack you down, right, especially versus the run, but he can't really cover worse spit. So there you go. Take it for what you will. There's my linebacker for the video. At cornerback, sneakily one of those positions we kind of have to get right. And I think we will, man. I have a lot of faith that Joe Ortiz is going to make it happen. Noah Williams. Both of the DBs you're about to see from Cal, some of my favorite players late. Noah Williams, excellent physical corner. He's average, or I should say he's maybe average in terms of speed, but his physicality really does help make up for it, man. Very nice strength to his game, too. You'll see in his build. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. He's a bully in man coverage. He's great versus the run. Noah Williams, again, if you're looking for a depth piece or a guy that has some upside, like maybe Cam Hart last season, Noah Williams, love him in the middle rounds. Another high upside guy, we've talked about him before in Zaw Frazier at a UTSA. Again, 6'3". He's close to 200 pounds, right? Yeah, 185 pounds. He's super fast, too. Ran a 4.36. Not bad in zone already, too. Very high upside physical corners that we're kind of going after late. And there's kind of a lot of them, too, man. Another guy that I've mentioned before, haven't really shown him off too much or featured, Shamari Simmons at Arizona State. Another nasty run defending corner. He brings the boom. Mainly plays nickel. He'll need some coverage improvement, but man, is he a physical corner that's really willing to lower the boomstick. And then finally, at safety, a couple of guys that I seriously would consider late in the draft. Craig Woodson out of Cal, another great physical DB, 6 foot, 210 pounds. He's a big, bad bully playing safety. Much like his counterpart, Noah Williams, I would take both of these guys late in the 25 draft, and I really like with their physicality. It really fits what Jesse Minter wants on the defensive side of the football. Hunter Waller, another guy out of Wisconsin that I feel that, again, fits the narrative. He's an excellent box safety, so maybe your backup strong safety to Derwin James. You can kind of rotate him in and out. He's 6'2", 218 pounds, great in coverage over the middle, strong tackler, maybe a little less athletic than you're hoping to see from the position, but hey, man, he definitely gets it done. And then lastly, maybe a bit of a honorable mention, but a guy I think worth looking at, right? The Chargers certainly don't shy away from the legacy players. Shiloh Sanders, obviously out of Colorado. At this point, why not, right? I think what he brings to the table is an excellent understanding of the game of football. His instincts are there. He does just lack a little bit of technique, and that's where I think the Chargers can step in and really make an improvement to his game. So those are going to be my sleepers for the 2025 NFL draft. Please, in the comments below, leave your sleepers as well. Maybe we'll sneak them into a couple of mock drafts, of which we're going to have some live ones coming up here pretty soon. But just a week away from the NFL draft, we are going to be live drafting, or should say covering the draft live here on the channel all 3 days. Every single Chargers pick, all like 10 or 11 or 12 of them, will be announced live on this channel. And it's going to be a really good time. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. If you like what you saw here, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. We'll see you next time. As always, bolt up and stay frosty. Oh, man, dude. Some big sleepers in here, man. Give me the Cal DBs, man. They're going to be super solid.